So now that Donald Trump has been officially elected as the 47th president of the United States, everybody is gearing up for one of the largest crypto bull runs in history. So as Elon Musk just posted here on Twitter, saying, let that sink in, as he did in Twitter. When he got into Twitter, what did he do? He fired everybody.
You've done a hell of a lousy job. You're fired. Get out of here.
So we are about to see not only the biggest overhaul in the judicial system in terms of getting people out of their seat that have been anti-crypto, but in the financial system as well too. And Bitcoin pumped over 2,700% when Trump won last time. So this time he's pro Bitcoin, he's pro crypto. So as he just won today, we have to prepare for the biggest bull run in crypto history. Now, regardless of whoever was elected, we talked about this in previous videos, the crypto market follows global liquidity, but with Trump as president, that's even more of a bullish catalyst to back up your truck all the way to the bank, grab the bags, pack them and stack them. And over the past 24 hours, we have seen the meme coin sector absolutely explode, with most of these projects up, 15, 20+%. In this video, what I'm going to share with you is the top 7 underrated meme coins that I am adding to my portfolio and holding a position in for the rest of this bull run. Now, that doesn't mean that you should buy these. The title of this video is not clickbait. This is for people that are researching the best cryptos to buy now. And as always, I'm not going to tell you what to buy or sell. I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing with my money for full transparency. But understand that crypto is very risky. You most likely will lose all of your money in these markets because I'm not a financial advisor. Go consult your banker who invests in 401k and all that different stuff, and go do that instead, because crypto is only for people that have a high risk tolerance. If you do not have a high risk tolerance, then this is not the place for you. But if you do, then consider watching this video. Comment 777 if you're feeling blessed, if you're feeling bullish, and if you're going to become the first millionaire in your family tree, confirm it by tapping the subscribe button. Let's run it. All right, bull runners, welcome back to the channel. So looking at the market cap and volume right now, the whole entire meme coin market is $64 billion. So it is very undeniable that every single smart investor out there, and I say smart investors because smart investors put their emotions to the side and they pay attention to what's actually happening logistically in the crypto market to understand how to properly diversify into the emerging sectors that are hot right now. So on CoinMarketCap.com, the hottest sector is the meme coin market. It's undeniable. We got artificial intelligence, we got gaming, real world asset, decentralized physical infrastructure, even AI memes is up on here. So CoinMarketCap is telling us where people are moving their money. We saw what happened last bull run. I was able to get in on Shiba Inu early and a lot of other projects before they absolutely exploded. In this bull run, I'm going to be sharing with you in this video what projects I think have the most potential to run. Now, obviously there's no guarantees, but you guys can see the market cap of some of these large caps here. I want to share some underrated projects, some low cap gems that are sub $100 million. I also want to talk about some mid cap and even some large cap projects that I'm looking at right now that I still think have, a 10, a 20x in them. So let's dive right into this video. The first thing that we need to talk about is the launch of our crypto education platform. We got 4 days, 7 hours left, 57 minutes for the early bird list to close. So all you need to do to get access to that is go to bullrunners.com. It's free to subscribe to the list. You're going to get access to our Telegram group with over 12,000 people where we post this information first. And you guys are going to have access to some exclusive bonuses when we launch and we open the doors for the early bird list. So we're most likely going to open the doors within the next couple days. So this is literally your last chance, guys. You got 4 days left before the early bird list closes. So check that out, bullrunners.com, link in the description below. But let's dive right into the video. So let's look at DeFiLlama.com and let's talk about what's happening on these different blockchains, because total value locked is one of the main things we need to look at to give us an understanding of which blockchains the most liquidity is flowing into and staying on. Because when the value gets locked on these protocols right here, you can see right here like EigenLayer, Aave, Lido, the value gets locked because people want to earn APY. The protocol deposits into another protocol or is under liquid staking category, so it is subtracted from the total value lock because both liquid staking and double count toggles are off. So when you read stuff like that, it may seem confusing, but to break it down simply for you guys, if you click on any one of these chains like Ethereum, right, the largest altcoin by market cap, and we scroll down, we can see Maker, we can see see Uniswap, the biggest DEX, Binance staked Ethereum, Spark, Ether.fi, Maker, and we see billions of dollars. And so what we want to pay attention to is which blockchain has the most amount of total value locked, but also is emerging and is in a uptrend. So Ethereum right now has been pulling back because the total value locked also has been flowing off of the Ethereum blockchain. Now, when we look at what Ethereum is about to do, I personally think Ethereum is underrated. So I'm going to be talking about, some meme coins on Ethereum, but Solana as well too is sitting at $6 billion. Solana's in a nice uptrend. I do think Solana will be doing well. Also the Binance Smart Chain, we look at the Binance Smart Chain, it's drastically undervalued right here compared to where it was during the last bull run at $20 billion in total value locked. It's sitting at 4.6 billion right now. Now that CZ has been let out of jail, I honestly think the Binance Smart Chain is going to make a resurgence because it's been sitting in the top 10. If we go back to coinmarketcap.com, we can see that BNB is sitting at number 5 in terms of market cap at $84 billion. And so when we click on BNB and we look over the past year, BNB has held up incredibly well. Most other projects that have pulled back, 50, 60, 70, 80%, whereas BNB over the past year is still up 132%, and it's sitting right at basically where it was a year ago. Now, a lot of people say this isn't a good thing, but when a project can hold a support and it can remain range bound and not fluctuate by these crazy 50, 60, 70% swings, then that shows there is a very strong holder base in backing for a project, especially one that has an $84 billion market cap. This project has withstood the test of time. So what we need to look at is how big of a difference there is between the market cap in BNB and the total value locked on the Binance Smart Chain. It is drastically different, which tells me when Bitcoin really starts running and the dominance starts to drop, the most amount of liquidity is going to start flowing into Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Solana, Suami, and the base chain. Now, the largest altcoin on the Binance Smart Chain, as you can see based on the contracts right here, is Dogecoin. Now, before you exit off of this video and say, I've heard of Dogecoin, everybody knows of Dogecoin, why would I buy Dogecoin? It already has a $24 billion market cap. This thing doesn't have that 10x potential in it. I want you to listen to this. When we look at the all-time high for Dogecoin sitting upwards of 70 cents, right now it is just under 20 cents. And before I get into the chart and share with you guys what I see compared to the past and the key indicators such as the stochastic RSI on the weekly chart and the confluence that we're going to look at, we need to understand what's taking place from a fundamental level as Dogecoin just flipped XRP to become the 7th largest cryptocurrency by market cap. Now, does that mean that you should sell your XRP and move it into Dogecoin or meme coins? No, absolutely not. I still hold XRP. I'm extremely bullish on it because of what Donald Trump said about firing Gary Gensler first day in office. I believe that's January 20th, but this gives me an idea of how I should diversify my portfolio, which I've been doing since the bottom of the bear market. And one of the biggest fundamental reasons, which is quite arguably the reason why Donald Trump got elected, is this guy right here, Elon Musk. So Elon Musk on Dogecoin, not only that, but listen to what he has come up with to improve government efficiency.
Well, I've said I'd be happy to help improve the, government efficiency, obviously, Department of Government Efficiency, which, I think is sorely needed. We've got a gigantic government bureaucracy. We've got overregulation. You've got agencies that have overlapping responsibilities. There's something like 450 federal government agencies, almost 2 per year that company since America was founded. So we're just creating new agencies all the time, and it's getting to the point where basically everything's illegal. You just can't get anything done.
I've noticed.
And this translates to these become real costs to people. They're hidden costs, but they're very substantial. It's very hard to build new housing if you're burdened with massive requirements that don't make any sense. It drives up the housing cost. It slows down new housing starts. So we need to let the builders of America build.
Amen.
So Elon Musk got behind Donald Trump, put millions of dollars behind him, helped him get elected, is now coming out with the Department of Government Efficiency, Doge, based on Dogecoin, what do you guys think is going to happen to Dogecoin? Well, I honestly think this is an undervalued gem. Even though it's the largest, Dogecoin is the proxy of the meme coin market. I think it is foolish not to hold any Dogecoin because we are still early before the end of this bull cycle is over, and Bitcoin's dominance is still upwards of 60% at the time of making this video. When Bitcoin's dominance drops, what happens is the largest market cap projects generally move first. So if you are a smart investor, which I know you are, having a diversified portfolio amongst large cap, mid cap, and micro cap projects, Dogecoin is still an undervalued gem. Now, hang to the end of this video. I'm going to talk about some low cap gems, but look at this. When we look at the chart, we can see some similarities here on what happened in the past bull run. Let's go back to 2014 when Dogecoin saw its first, all-time high for that bull run at 0.002. What happened to Dogecoin during the bear market? Well, it sold off 96% over the course of that year, and then it attempted to break out and go back into a bull run. So we saw it get rejected from this descending resistance, kind of sloppily drawn. But as you can see right here on the middle of January, right here as well from June, consolidating at it and just riding alongside this descending resistance until it broke it on the 27th of March. Now, what we can notice here is on the weekly stochastic RSI, the K line, the D line breached above 100. We saw a short-term temporary consolidation period right here for like 30 days going into April, and then Dogecoin exploded past the all-time high to 0.004, another consolidation period right around here during 2017 until roughly, December of 2017 for that parabolic blow off top to the end of that bull run when Bitcoin was nearly $20,000. Then we saw the peak for Dogecoin at 2 cents, and then another bear market kicked into effect. And what happened there? Sure enough, everything got absolutely destroyed. Dogecoin lost 90+% of its value, measuring all the way down to COVID. It's like 93%. So everyone was getting out of the market during a bear market, but this is when people were buying. I was buying back into the markets right here, very similar to what we're going through right now. What we saw happen was Dogecoin broke above this descending resistance right here and consolidated at it, came back down to back test it, which was an incredibly bullish sign because it was holding this resistance as support. And then by the 30th of November, look at what happened on the stochastic RSI. The D line, the K line breached above 100. We saw this temporary consolidation period for what looks like about, 30 days, 35 days, exactly what happened for the last bull run. And then Dogecoin exploded to the upside past the all-time high. Another consolidation period, very similar to what we saw back here. Obviously, the consolidation pattern just looks a little bit different. And then we see a parabolic blow off top. We see a parabolic blow off top. So for people to think that this time is going to be different, in my opinion, the only thing that's going to be different is just how the chart looks and how long the consolidation period is. Because what we just saw recently, as you guys can see, from the bear market, we saw a sell-off of 93%, just like every other bear market. Everything bleeds out larger than Bitcoin and loses. Most of these altcoins lose 90 to 99% of their value. Dogecoin is no different. And so then we see a revival take place for the bull run. We see a breach of resistance, and what happened? It came back down during the last few months while Bitcoin was selling off to back test this descending resistance as support, just like it did back here in October 2020. It didn't really do that the previous bull run because once it broke the resistance, it just exploded to the upside. So this is more similar to the last bull run, but we've bounced off of this resistance and we're hovering right at 20 cents. So in my opinion, look at these arrows on the chart right now. This is where we are, not only just for Dogecoin, but the rest of the meme coin market, because as I just said, Dogecoin is the proxy for the meme coin market that tells us what's going to happen next. Just like Bitcoin is the proxy for the whole entire market that tells us what's going to happen to crypto, we need to watch Dogecoin to know what's going to happen with the lower cap meme coins a little bit later in this cycle going into 2025. Also, what we can see is the stochastic RSI is above 80. The K line is at 100. The D line is at 95. Now, this is not necessarily a bad sign because most people think that when we get above 80, it's overvalued, it's going to come down. This is a sign that bulls are in control. And even if we see a consolidation period for like 30, 35 days, just like what we saw in the past, where Dogecoin hovers anywhere between, 10, 15 cents and 20 cents, on the macro, when we zoom out, the next move to the upside could be very, very drastic going into 2025. And we could only have like 30, 35 days to prepare. before Donald Trump takes office. So what I'm expecting to happen for the weekly stochastic RSI is for us to stay above 80 for an extended period of time as we go into 2025. And if we measure how long it took from the breakout period in the last bull run before we reached the all-time high, it was roughly 160 days. Now the bull run before then, it was roughly 280 days. So anywhere between, 150 to 300 days, we have to hold onto our seatbelt in this rocket ship as we get ready to blast off to the moon here. And so that's why Dogecoin is my number one pick. It's my largest meme coin that I hold. And as we see the total value locked on the Binance Smart Chain start to break out as BNB's market cap rises, then a lot of that liquidity is going to flow into meme coins on the Binance Smart Chain. When you look at Dogecoin, right here in terms of contracts, it's on the Binance Smart Chain. And also, if you go to markets right here, you guys will see that it's listed on every single centralized exchange. So you can get it on Binance, you can get it on Coinbase, Kraken, BitGet, Bitfinex, etc. Now, the next chain that we need to look at is Ethereum. So Ethereum has been sleeping recently. Well, Bitcoin breaches past its all-time high. Ethereum is lagging behind. I think a lot of people are counting Ethereum out. Now, I do personally like Base Chain or, Solana a little bit better because the fees are lower, or Suami because the fees are drastically lower, but whales are still bullish on Ethereum. The Ethereum ETFs are approved, and when liquidity flows out of Bitcoin for Bitcoin's dominance to drop, Ethereum, I think, will make a comeback. The total value locked is $50 billion. The all-time high last bull run was over $100 billion, and with more liquidity flowing into the overall economy, I think Ethereum will make a resurgence. Now, the altcoin on Ethereum's blockchain that I'm extremely bullish on is Floki. Now, Floki is sitting at a $1.2 billion market cap, and I think this large cap project is drastically undervalued for what it could do this bull run. It is on Ethereum's blockchain. Now, also to pay attention to, it's on the Binance Smart Chain, so it's cross-bridge. And when we look at the markets that it's listed on, it's on Binance, it's on PancakeSwap, Uniswap, Bybit, all the major exchanges except for Coinbase. So maybe there's a Coinbase listing that comes in this bull run. We'll see. Either way, it doesn't necessarily need Coinbase to absolutely explode. What Floki is waiting on is Ethereum, because when we pair up the charts, what we can see here is right now Floki is consolidating alongside Ethereum, but let's pull up TradingView. And let's put Ethereum on the weekly chart next to Floki on the weekly chart. As you guys can see, Floki's first all-time high and the true all-time high is back in November of 2021 at the exact same time that Ethereum topped out. This isn't a coincidence because whales, institutions, and then retail buy up Ethereum, and then they look for lower market cap projects like meme coins, AI, gaming, real world assets to move money into. And so Floki was one of those projects that ran up with Ethereum during the tail end of that bull run. Now, obviously, during the bear market, Ethereum was selling off, so everything bled out. And you can see from top to bottom, Floki bled out even more. So meme coins are like a leverage play on the layer one. Ethereum is the layer one, so the meme coins on that layer one are a leverage play that could outperform Ethereum, because as you guys can see, during this bull run, when Ethereum bottomed out at the bear market low on the 13th of June 2022, Floki bottomed out on the exact same week. That tells us everything that we need to know. And look at the recent run up for Ethereum. It was like 350%. Well, look at the recent run up for Floki before the correction took place. It was over 6,000%. Now, if we look on the 3rd of June of 2024, when Ethereum started to pull back, sure enough, Floki topped out for the summer and started to sell off with Ethereum. Now, Ethereum is coming back down to backtest this ascending support, and also it wicked off of this horizontal support that was resistance back in the 17th of April, back here on the 8th of August, and acted as support during the complacency stage bounce all the way back in January of 2022. So keep Floki on your radar, because if Ethereum continues to lag behind Bitcoin and Ethereum sees any more sell-off going into January, then I would expect Floki to have potentially another sell-off, one final dip down. I wouldn't hope for that or necessarily wait for that. And then we continue to the upside as Ethereum starts to break out and passes the high of the year and inevitably the all-time high, as it did back here in 2020. We saw this consolidation period for Ethereum to come back down to back test this previous zone right here that was resistance on the 24th of June, also the high on the 17th of February, and then we rebounded off of it to breach into price discovery with the rest of the market. And so that's what Ethereum is essentially doing right now. It's just a longer, more drawn out consolidation period than what we saw between July of 2020 until the end of the year. This started all the way back in March. So March, April, May, June, July. So this was an extra like 4 to 5 months on top of it, which is actually a good thing because it's relatively held pretty well. It hasn't sold off that much. When we look at the market cap last bull run of what happened to Shiba Inu that currently sits at a $10 billion market cap, and we just sort based on market cap and we look at the all-time high right here, it rallied over $40 billion. Now, when we compare that to Floki only made it up to $3 billion for the all-time high, and it's sitting at 1.3 right now. So if it just does like half of what Shiba Inu did, that's like a 20x for this project. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to 20x, but I think this project is drastically undervalued. When you go to their Twitter, you guys will see that they have the most utility out of any other project out there, and they have a very strong community. So meme coins are predicated on the size of their community and the cult-like following that they have. And Floki does very, very well with their marketing, does very, very well with their branding, and they by far have the most utility out of any meme coin in the space. Now, Floki is a sponsor of today's video, but the cool thing is I've actually been buying Floki before they ever even reached out, and none of the other meme coin companies that are large cap like Shiba Inu or any of the other projects on today's video are sponsored. So that tells me everything that I need to know, because if their marketing team is reaching out to get more sponsorships, more that gets this to go more viral, because channels like ours and a community like us always looks for projects that can make you guys the most amount of money. And so far, we've done very, very well on this project right here, and I think it's going to continue to do well this bull run. And when we pair up Floki's chart to the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, you guys have seen what has happened during this bull run. While Ethereum has been underperforming Bitcoin in a downtrend, in an ETH Bitcoin downtrend, imagine what's going to happen to Floki when we see an ETH Bitcoin uptrend. You see this bearish channel since the 12th of September forming lower highs, lower lows. We even broke below this channel to sell off even more compared to Bitcoin, and Floki has still held it together. Their marketing team is doing an incredible job, guys. The awareness is everywhere about the project, and I think it's just getting started this bull run. Even if we see, Ethereum to Bitcoin sell off even more and come even further down here, and let's say that bleeds out into Floki, consider keeping this one on your watch list and watch for this horizontal zone of support that intersects with this ascending support right here if the rest of the market consolidates over the next 30 days. Now, there's no guarantee it's going to come down that low, because if the market just keeps ripping to the upside and Bitcoin passes 80K, 85, 90K, the rest of the altcoins are going to follow. So Floki is another large cap gem that I still feel is undervalued, because eventually when ETH stops underperforming Bitcoin and we see Bitcoin's dominance drop, what happens there is Ethereum and other altcoins like, XRP, for example, start to overperform Bitcoin. Now, we have up to a whole year left in this bull run. So I think once Ethereum starts to turn around compared to Bitcoin, that's the catalyst that we need to see for Floki to start performing well. And that'll start to happen when Ethereum's total value lock starts to encroach in on its all-time high and eventually goes into price discovery. Now, another meme coin I'm extremely bullish on that is based on the base chain, which is Coinbase's chain. If we look at the total value lock, this is the first bull run for the base chain. And this is where the excitement's at right now, because Coinbase is backing this. The total value locked on the base chain is $2.5 billion. I think this chain is going to go over $10 billion this bull run cycle. And that simply means some of the top protocols on the chain and the top meme coins on this chain are going to just outperform the overall total value lock, just because of how tokenomics work with market cap, circulating supply of these projects, all of that good stuff. Because if a billion comes on chain, then that doesn't mean a lot of these projects are just going to 2x. Like if this goes to 5 billion, it doesn't mean that some projects are gonna just 2x because the total value locked is 2xing. It means a lot of these projects 5x, 10x, 15x, 20x. And so this is why Brett is the next altcoin on the list. Brett is sitting just under $1 million market cap. So as we get into the mid cap tier, we can see that Brett has been holding up pretty nicely since the all-time high. It's sitting at about 8 cents right now. It's on the base chain. If you guys click on markets, it's listed on, Uniswap, it's on BitGet, KuCoin. Although we don't see a Binance listing yet, that could potentially be coming. If we look at the chart, Brett has been in a nice uptrend since the low on the 5th of August. If we draw this ascending support, it bounced right off of it on the 4th of November, just a couple of days ago. It is coiling up in a symmetrical triangle. If we just go ahead and draw this descending resistance right here from the high to where we are right now. Also, if we look at the stochastic RSI on the daily, we saw a bearish cross all the way up here. On the 15th of October, we saw a momentum shift over from bullish price action to bearish price action, and the stochastic RSI came all the way back down here. We attempted a bullish cross, but this was a big fake out because the rally went from like 8 cents upwards to 10 cents, and then we saw a lower low get put in here. So as long as we hold the support at about 7 cents, I think we're just going to coil up within this symmetrical triangle and just continue consolidating. We also saw a bullish cross all the way down here below 20. We need to confirm it by the D line passing above 20. The K line is at 33 right here to see a reversal on the stochastic RSI. Eventually, I think Brett is going to have a massive breakout above this descending resistance and go back into price discovery. And if we were to measure from the top of this triangle to the high to the low right here, how you trade a symmetrical triangle is you can wait for a breakout above the descending resistance and a potential back test as support. You know, this would roughly be around like 11 cents. Although you would be buying a lot higher. Again, I'm not going to tell you when to buy. What we do is when this breaks out and it holds it as support, we draw the line from the peak of the symmetrical triangle to the bottom and we put it at where that breakout point is. So depending on where that happens, like we don't know, we'll get there when it comes. It brings us all the way up to like 35 cents from where we are right now. And so if we were to measure from here, again, no promises, this is just example purposes only, that's nearly a 3x from right here. And then what'll happen is this money on the next consolidation phase, depending on how high up Brett gets, and then this consolidation that takes place, during that consolidation, money flows out of Brett and then into lower cap projects. So during this stage of the bull run cycle, I believe the smartest move is still to hold the majority into large caps. And then like this is a mid cap, but it's kind of a large cap because it's teetering on the edge of $1 billion, sitting at like 900 million. The smart move is to hold the large caps and then play some of that into the rotation game when the next consolidation phase takes place. Because as the total value locked on the base chain climbs, Brett is the mascot of that chain. So Coinbase would want Brett to do well to keep money flowing over, because these exchanges, the market makers are realizing that in order to get retail into their chain, they need to have a successful meme coins on their chain that do very, very well. That's also one of the main reasons why XRP has been lagging until First Ledger came around. So whatever exchange can do that right for XRP, then we could see more retail money flowing into XRP, even though retail's not Ripple's target market, the bankers are their market. We're going to talk about that in other videos. If you go to dexscreener.com and you click on base on the left, you can see so many different altcoins on the base chain. And if we sort based on volume, you guys can see that Brett is right up there with Aerodrome. Now, another project on the base chain is Andy on base. Now, this is one of the Boys Club members, and if we pair up Brett's chart in yellow right here to Andy's chart, it followed it to the T from the 14th of the May to the high, even to where we are right now today with this breakout that's just taking place for Brett from like 7 something cents to, I think Brett rallied to like 10, 11 cents or something. Andy is breaking out as well too. And Andy is sitting at a $9 million market cap underneath $10 million. So I think if Brett does very, very well, potentially Andy on base could do even better than Brett. Now, it is obviously higher risk, but if we look at these charts right here, we can see that they're almost identical to the exact day that Brett topped out. Andy topped out, and Andy topped out at over a $40 million market cap. You know, I spotted this project and I was sharing this project with you guys in our Telegram group all through this phase right here. Right when this project launched, I found this at about $1 million or $2 million market cap, and I've just been holding ever since. So this is one of the projects that I'm actually the most bullish on the base chain, because I think if Brett goes upwards of the 5 billion, 10 billion, maybe half of what Shiba Inu did, $20 billion, if it gets up to Shiba Inu's level that it did last bull run of $40 billion, then what would that mean for something that has a $10 million market cap that's one of the 4 main Boys Club characters? You guys saw what happened with Brett getting upwards of a $2 billion market cap. It's sitting at 888 million right now. You saw what happened with Pepe going upwards of a $5 billion market cap this early in the bull run. And Pepe's sitting at 3.85 billion right now. Those are 2 of the Boys Club members. And if you guys are wondering what is the Boys Club, well, if you look up Base Brett on Twitter and you watch the pinned video that has 1.8 million views right here, you guys can see this artist created these 4 characters. You got Brett, you got Pepe, you have Andy, and you also have Landwolf. Now, Brett on base got upwards of a 2 billion. Pepe is on Ethereum. It got upwards of a 5 billion. And so there are other Andys on other chains, like on Avalanche. I think there's one on Ethereum. There's one on Blast. So there are a few, but Andy on base closely resembles Brett on Base's chart. So if Brett does well, that liquidity is just easier to flow from Brett into Andy because they can just swap on Uniswap rather than bridging to another chain and then putting it into another project. So as Ethereum does well, that's more liquidity on Ethereum to bridge to Base to be able to trade different altcoins like Aerodrome Finance, Brett, the meme coin, and then other major projects on chain. And so I just think Andy is a solid low cap pick that will do well if Brett does well. And I don't see why Brett wouldn't do well unless Coinbase abandons Brett for something else. Now, the fourth member in the boys club is Landwolf on Base. Now, Landwolf on Base has been bleeding out since the high of June alongside Brett and alongside Andy. I think this got up to like $3, $4, or $5 million market cap. So this is extremely high risk. It is at a 983K market cap. And if we look at the chart right here, it looks like it's dead. However, this was posted in our Telegram group recently with 12,500 members that you can get started through the link in the description below or by going to bullrunners.com. But if you guys look at Pepe's chart after Pepe launched and what happened, and it sold off over 80+% to the bottom, it looks eerily similar to Landwolf's chart right where it's at right now. Now, when we look at what happened after that, over 200 days later, Pepe absolutely exploded and did a 25x about 300 days after the all-time high. So if we look at 300 days after Landwolf's all-time high, that puts us into March of 2025. Now, does that mean that Landwolf is going to perform the same numbers as Pepe? No, absolutely not, because there's just more backing behind Pepe. It's at $3.8 billion. Landwolf's at $850,000. To do a 10x from here would put it at $8.5 million. And so that's still drastically off from, $1 billion. So I don't think it'll go that high. But when you look at how far Pepe sold off from the all-time high in the first launch phase, it had an 86% pullback and it took 167 days. Look at Landwolf on Base. It's at roughly 55, 56 days right now, and it sold off over 92%. So 167 days, and then you saw what happened with Pepe, make a bounce, and then it came back down to form a second low, higher than the previous low, and then it broke out about, 300 days after the all-time high, right? So when we look at where Landwolf's at right now, sure, it could go further to the downside. I mean, this project could sell off up to 99%. So obviously you guys understand that it's very risky, but if you understand what the narrative of the boys club is with these two, a lot of new traders that are coming on the base chain are going to be looking for those low cap gems, and that's where Andy and Landwolf come in. Now, the last chain that I want to talk about with you guys is Suami. Now, Suami's total value locked is at $1 billion. This is a project that's arguably rivaling Solana. I'm personally more bullish on Suami than I am on Solana for this bull run cycle, simply because this is Suami's first bull run cycle, and I think it can do more multiples than Solana. And if we look at the total value locked right now compared to Solana, we can see that it's been in an uptrend. It did have a recent pullback. It's consolidating right now. But I think the next move for Suami based on total value locked will be upwards of $2 to $3 billion. And we can see this by looking at what's happening on chain, specifically with the #1 DEX on Suami. Look at this green candle that came in last night. I shared CDIS protocol with you guys at about 11 cents. Now, this isn't a meme coin. This is not a part of today's list. This is just something to take note of because Uniswap and PancakeSwap were the top decentralized exchanges on Ethereum and the Binance Smart Chain, and they performed incredibly well. CDIS is the top DEX on Suami's chain, and it's only at $190 million market cap. So I do hold CDIS, quick disclaimer, it's not a part of today's list, but last night I saw that there were hundreds of thousands of dollars coming in, even millions of dollars, on these buy orders to create this green candle to bring it from 16 cents upwards of 30 cents. Over the past day, it's rallied over 69%. Very nice. So what's happening here is this decentralized exchange token on Suami's CDIS protocol is what's used to swap in and out of Suami onto other altcoins. So when we go to DEX Screener, and we click on Suami right here, we can see all of these projects on Suami's chain. So I'm gonna give you guys two projects that I hold in my portfolio that I'm extremely bullish on for this bull run. And there are some other projects that I hold. Like I said, if you guys wanna see what those are and see what our research team is looking into and our portfolio deliberation training and attend weekly coaching calls with our research team, you can go to bullrunners.com, get on the early bird list before we launch to the general public in 4 days from right now. But the first meme coin on Suami's chain is UNI on Suami. This one is sitting at a 6.4 $1 million market cap. We can see that on launch, it rallied all the way up to 0.026. It sold off over 90%, like virtually every single project does, especially meme coins after their launch. And it's rebounding nicely off of the low. So what we're going to watch here is we're going to watch this horizontal resistance right here that it needs to clear and hold as support to potentially see a double bottom trend reversal, where you guys can see, bottom number one, even bottom number two, it tried to form a double bottom trend reversal right here, but as you can see, it didn't hold this support and it broke back down below it. So arguably, we can consider potentially this is bottom number two and this as the neckline and the resistance that is attempting to break right now. And so if UNI can break this resistance, hold it as support, and see a continuation to the upside, then this project could do very, very well. Now, obviously, we don't just look at the chart, we look at the fundamental reason why could this project do very well. Well, if you guys go back to DeFi Llama and you look at the Solana blockchain, and we look at the total value locked increasing right here, the narratives on each chain that do well in the meme coin market, there's a few of them, right? We've seen political fi of these meme coins of all these politicians pop up, and those come and go depending on what happens in the moment, what those politicians are saying. But another narrative that is doing very, very well is the dogs of the exchange owners, or the L1 owners. So for example, the co-founder of Solana, the dog is named Myro. Now, if we look at Myro right here, we can see the chart has withstood multiple 70, 80, 90% pullbacks, and its market cap is still above $90 million. If we click on market cap right here, you can see that Myro's all-time high is over a $400 million market cap. And if we go to the website myrothedog.com, you can see Myro is named after Solana's co-founder Raj Gokhal's dog Myro. Really simple, right? Floki is a Shiba Inu named after who? Elon Musk's dog is named Floki. So Floki has over $1 billion market cap because of Elon Musk. And so if the layer one does well, Solana, then Myro has done well. Now, a lot of people aren't thinking about this, but UNI is still below a $10 million market cap. It's actually below 7 million right now. The entire max supply is in circulation. The volume over the past 24 hours is $468,000. It's picking up 278%. It's listed on a few different exchanges that you can see under markets. If we go to the website unicoinsui.com, we can see it's the dog of Sui's co-founder, Evan Cheng. And very similar to Myro, this narrative right here, I think has a lot of potential to run. Now, obviously it is higher risk. I think you guys understand that this project could pull back and retest the previous lows back from the 3rd of November and all the way in the 22nd of October, but it's brand new. It launched on the 11th of October, less than a month ago. If we look at Myro, look at what happened to Myro within the first month. It rallied all the way up here to 5 cents, sold all the way off to a penny. It saw a drop of about 73%, and then it consolidated right around here and then erupted to the next high, formed a new all-time high. And then look at the pullback on this one that took place. Rallied up to 30 cents, it pulled back 80+%. So people were probably looking at the chart right here and they were like, oh, okay, well, look at this high, it's down here, it's dead, there's no way this project's going to do anything else. And then look what happened again. It had another breakout, another parabolic blow off top. And sure enough, what's happened recently is a much longer drawn out sell-off consolidation period. So what I think is going to happen here is if we draw a trend line from this descending resistance to where we are right now, we just recently broke the descending resistance. It is a falling wedge where we see lower highs, lower lows, and it coils up in this wedge. Generally what happens is we see a break of a wedge right here, and then we see it come back down to back test the descending resistance as it coils up here. And then we see a new volume injection happen into a project like this with the rest of the market. So Myro would need to clear like roughly 17-cent resistance and hold it as support for a true trend reversal, because this isn't a trend reversal until we clear the high of the 25th of July. But what may happen here if Myro makes a resurgence and we start to see a breakout with Bitcoin and the rest of the market, people are going to be looking at this narrative and wonder, okay, what are the top dogs of the founders of these layer one blockchains? And they're going to start to rotate capital into it, similar to what happened back here when people started to discover what was happening with Solana's breakout. If Sui starts to break upwards of $3, $4, $5, then what is the meme coin on Sui's chain people are going to look at? The dog of the co-founder, right? I mean, that seems like common sense, of course, but common sense isn't so common. We do need to see a new volume influx on Sui, because Sui right now is sitting at 5.9 billion market cap, right? If Sui pulls back underneath $2, then UNI doesn't stand a chance because there's just no new liquidity coming into Sui's market cap. So if we see Sui upwards of a 20, 30, 40, 50, potentially $100 billion market cap this bull run cycle, then I think UNI could absolutely fly. Now, another underrated meme coin on Sui's chain, I think, is Suami. This project is sitting at $1 million market cap. And if we pair it up with the psychology of a market cycle, it looks like we're going through the depression stage right now. We saw a sell-off from the high. Again, this project, guys, was launched on the 4th of October, so it's about a month old. It's still relatively new, and this is the first major sell-off that is completely normal, 83%, right? So what happens here is if we break this descending resistance, we can see that we see a descending support, descending resistance. If we break it to the upside, the chart could look potentially something like this. We need to clear 0.0002, hold it as support, and then maybe like we waddle around here for a little bit, and then we see another breakout to the upside to retest the all-time high, because you got to understand how quickly money can flow into these chains. For example, you saw what happened with Cetus with tens of millions of dollars flowing in within a matter of a couple hours last night with that parabolic green candle. With a project sitting at $1 million market cap, that is on top of the branding for the community. If we go to their Twitter, then people are going to be looking at this project wondering like, okay, could it do multiples like what these dogs on these other chains have done? So the dog narrative on each chain is exciting. I just like this project. I just think it'll do well. I get that feeling in my belly and in my jellies that this thing could do very, very well. Now, I could be wrong here. It could go to zero. But if we go to their Twitter, they're constantly posting meme artwork right here. And people that are coming into the space looking for those low cap dog-based meme coins on Sui, I think UNI and I think Suami are a couple of the undervalued ones right now. And they got a pretty engaged community. Like, look, this one was posted a little while back, 119 likes, 2,000 reach, 37 shares, 29 comments. So each of their posts get a decent amount of engagement from people in their community. And if we look up Suami's coin right here on suiscan.xyz, we can see that they have 3,700 holders. And if we look at the holders right here, you can see that there isn't a single holder that holds more than like 2.35%. The remaining holders only hold like 1% or less. And so this is really, really good knowing that there isn't a single centralized whale that holds like 20, 30, 40% of the supply, even though it is still small, $1 million market cap. That can significantly hold the project back on the way up, because if a whale holds like 20% of the supply and the project starts breaching above a $5 million, $10 million market cap, then they can suppress the price and just keep selling it off. But to me, it looks like this chart is bottoming out right now. So sure, it could go lower. I mean, we could dip back to like $500,000 market cap to 700,000 or something like that, or even come back down even further. It's definitely possible. Just because I draw out a chart like this doesn't mean that it's going to happen. In fact, it has a 100% chance of it not happening. But what I want to do is give you guys a macro picture of what's possible over the next 200 to 300 days as Sui, the layer 1 chain, breaks out and adds on billions of dollars in market cap. That then liquidity starts to flow into the undervalued meme coins on the chain. And so UNI, Suami, these are two that I'm holding in my portfolio for this whole bull run. Now, I will take profit on these projects. I will sell these projects. Obviously, I'm not going to round trip my bags, and I'm not telling you guys to buy these things. What I do want to do is point you in the right direction to educate you. That way you can be able to find these projects yourself, the next 10x, 50x, 100x gem, and understand that it takes time. You know, for something to 50x or 100x, you know, like I just showed you with Pepe, it took over 200 days from that low, 300 days from the previous all-time high to pass it. And so sometimes you might have to wait a year on these to catch something that does a 20, 50, or 100x, but the time's going to pass anyways. And if you want to do your own research, then I highly encourage you to check out this other video that says how to find the next 100x meme coin on Sui early before it explodes using this deck screener tutorial. You can just click the link below or type in deck screener bull runners and it'll pop up right here. It's this video. And also a quick update for the business owners out there that have filled out their application to see what Visa and Mastercard took from them between 2004 to 2019. We've had over 233 businesses complete their form below and file their claim. And so far, they're qualified to receive up to $3 million back, which is absolutely insane. So if you want to know what this is about, listen to this.
Hey bull runners, this is super time sensitive, especially if you're looking to stack more crypto before the bull run is over. Did you know that Visa and Mastercard lost a $5.5 billion class action lawsuit for imposing unfair fees on merchants and business owners? So if you own a business, or if you know any business owners that process payments with Visa or Mastercard between 2004 and 2019, that's 15 years, you could actually be owed a refund of 1 to 1.5% of your total revenue from that period. That's a lot of money. For example, this business that generated 1.6 million in credit card revenue during those years is getting back $28,000. This business that generated over $7 million is getting back $93,000. And this business that generated over $20 million during those years is getting back over $320,000. That's money they didn't even know was on the table. And all they did was fill out a form through the link below this video. It literally takes less than a minute to see if you qualify, but you don't want to wait too long because the deadline to file is February 4th, 2025. So the sooner that you fill out the form below, the sooner that you can reclaim what's rightfully yours. Plus, if you don't have a business, you can actually earn 3% by referring businesses that do qualify by creating your affiliate account through the link below. So this is a no-brainer way to get money back in your pocket to use for your business, or if you want to use it for crypto or other assets to invest in, you can do that. So click the link below. Let's get you paid.
All right, bull runners. So that's it for today's video. I appreciate you for watching it. As always, go to bullrunners.com, get on the early bird list. I will see you on the next video as we back up our truck all the way to the bank, grab the bags, pack them and stack them, leave no bags left behind because the spending power of the dollar is going down, crypto's going up, and we're all running to the top. So I'll see you on the next video. As always, you know what to do. Stay bullish.